Boom, bam. So I recently flew back to 2017 and the launch of the Nintendo Switch. And what a year for a console launch. We got Breath of the Wild and we got Mario Odyssey. Two of the biggest and best Switch games to this day, going on 8 years, right? Going on 8 years into the console's life. But I was thinking, Switch 2, a lot of us kind of predicted or speculated would be revealed and even launched sooner than it has. There's been speculation about the different reasons for that. Some them wanting to manufacture, want to avoid issues with people not being able to get consoles. Some of them speculation around Nintendo wanting to have a strong early lineup of software. They learned a lot with the launch of Switch and the power of having big launch games out the gate that first year. And a lot of their big studios have been kind of quiet for some time. The Switch is winding down. We know we have that huge direct coming April 2nd. We know we're going to get the blowout. We're going to see the UI. We're going to probably see the new Pro controller. We're going to see all the bells and whistles. We're going to see mouse mode demonstrated, kind of like how we got the Joy-Con HD Rumble demonstrations. But the software is the big one. The software is the heart of every console. And I personally feel like this could easily, despite me in 2017 being like, there's no way they beat this because this is the ultimate launch year. Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. Everyone bought the Switch for Breath of the Wild at launch. But Mario Odyssey was truly the big experience. We already know we're getting a new Mario Kart. It's most likely the launch game. It's possible that Metroid Prime 4 is getting a Switch 2 version that might launch day alongside Mario Kart. We don't know. Might be launch window, might be later within the first 12 months, but Metroid Prime 4 is coming. I think it's a safe bet that we're probably going to see the next big 3D Mario game and what they're able to do with the new tech. Those are 3 powerhouse titles for core Nintendo fans, and that's ignoring third-party support, which I think we all agree is probably going to be a lot stronger for Switch 2 than it was for Switch 1 out of the gate. And I'm sure there's a lot of developers out there who wish they kind of jumped on that Switch bandwagon sooner, not realizing after the failure of Wii U how popular and powerful the Switch brand was going to be. So my question is, do you guys think, your honest predictions, will Switch 2 be the best 12 months, first 12 months launch year of a Nintendo console? And just to add a little flavor, outside of Mario Kart and new 3D Mario and Prime 4, what 4th or 5th game do you expect to drop in that year? Even if it's not as big as Mario, whether it's a new Splatoon or whatever. That's my question for you guys. More importantly, will it be the best launch year?
Yes.
Next, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. Podcast over. Gamebird signing out.
I'll say, look, I think it's gonna. Obviously, there's a lot of subjectiveness to this. Like, I'm a huge Zelda guy. There's probably not a big 3D brand new Zelda game year one. It's probably not happening. We're probably not getting that until middle of the generation, right? That doesn't mean we won't get some sort of Zelda or a remaster. Heck, would I prefer an Ocarina of Time from the ground up remake? That would be sick. I don't, but it's one of those. I'm going to be realistic and say, okay, we don't get any of that. If maybe we get the Wind Waker HD and it's on Switch and it's 4K on Switch 2 or something, which would be cool. But okay, yeah, it's the Wind Waker. I love it, but it's not really moving the needle for me. I'm saying, oh, this is an amazing launch year because we got Wind Waker. So if you're somebody that's like, hey, I need that big 3D Zelda, I don't have that year one, automatically 2017 is better. I get it. But you got to remember what's happening. Well, Mario Kart 8 was the biggest game on Switch, and that game was technically a game in 2014 on Wii U. So instead, now we get a new Mario Kart. with new mechanics and new tracks and 24 racers and potential pit stops and other things going on that they've never done before in Mario Kart. That's exciting. We have not had a brand new, actual, like, standard Mario Kart. I'm saying standard. Yeah, we had Tour, we had Home Circuit, fine. But in regular console Mario Kart, it's been over a decade. And credit to Nintendo. They did incredible things with 8 Deluxe. I did never expected them to do the DLC they did late in the Switch's life for it. That was incredible. They basically doubled the size of the game. Just awesome. Like, Nintendo did right by Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's very obvious why they never put a new Mario Kart outside of Home Circuit on Switch. Because, again, why would you? 8 was selling like gangbusters because nobody owned a Wii U. So to most consumers, this was a new Mario Kart. That being said, we have a brand new one for the first time as a Nintendo fan for me in 11 years. That's insane. All right, 3D Mario. Again, not 11 years, but it's been since 2017. You can count Bowser's Fury if you want, but that wasn't a full game. It was like a demo, a very good demo. Full brand new main team working years and years on this, and 3D Mario almost always delivers. I'm almost never let down by 3D Mario. That team is incredible. It's one of the best development teams out there. Like, I know the Astrobot just won a Game of the Year, and I'm really happy for them, and it's an incredible game. But even in their own speech, they couldn't help but give Mario credit. They couldn't help it because they're the ace in the hole in that genre. They always deliver. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, fine. We had that on Switch, right? We had a new 3D. Odyssey's incredible. It's my favorite 3D Mario right now. So awesome. But I think there's going to be more. It's not just Mario Kart, not just that. And even Metroid Prime 4. Look, I'm really excited for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. I don't know if it's going to be cross-gen. It might just be a Switch title. So I'm not sure if I can count it yet for Switch 2. I think we'll be able to. I think that's the one because of the mouse mode. I think the mouse mode's like, yeah, we got to get that launch day to show off the mouse. I think that would be a really good get to show that off. So I think Nintendo might have 3 launch titles. I think they'll have Metroid Prime 4 to show off the mouse mode, plus hit on the super, super hardcore fan. Then you have the Mario Kart that just hits on everyone because everyone loves Mario Kart. And then they'll have a different one, some sort of party, casual, either like a 1-2 Switch situation, or what I think they should do, another Switch sports game at launch. And you might go, Nate, that's a lot of games to put at launch. Well, I'm like, look, Metroid Prime 4 is not an evergreen game. Metroid's never been evergreen. But the sports game and the Mario Kart, those are going to sell for the next 6-7 years. Like, Nintendo's not worried that there's no install base day one. That Nintendo's not like the other companies. They don't care. So year one, they're going to want to hit you with evergreen titles. So this is where you start to go, okay, what evergreen titles could there be? I don't think Splatoon will be the first 12 months. I do think we could get a Splatoon 4 by the end of 2026, but it won't be in the first 12 months because they've proven they want to put multiple Splatoons out. So they want to get one out early in the gen so they can get one out late in the gen. But I think that we can't take Animal Crossing off the table. Animal Crossing it came out in 2020. It's been 5 years, and they barely did anything with the DLC. They barely supported the game after it came out. So I feel like there's a good chance that maybe an Animal Crossing's ready. There could be a Luigi's Mansion ready to go. Luigi's Mansion 4 already won. Remember how incredible 3 looked on Switch? Imagine what they're going to do with 4. It's gonna be gangbusters. That could be in year one. See, Nintendo averaged putting out a game per month. I think there will be, even though I do think Nintendo will probably support Switch 1 upgrades. It might not be blanket across the board. It might be on a per title basis. We'll see how Nintendo handles it. I do think there will also still be certain games they go the extra mile for. And they say, no, we're not just using DLSS and giving you, better frame rates and resolution. We actually want to throw some ray tracing in this sumbitch. We want to actually put brand new textures in the game. We want to actually maybe do more. And that's where the things where we hear about the U-King-O with the Breath of the Wild and the instant loading, and all, like maybe that they release that as a standalone. I hope it's a patch, but if they release that as a standalone, I could see something like that happening, especially if they don't have another big Zelda ready to go. Maybe they package Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild together for like $60, but they give them that special treatment where it's just the best possible deluxe versions they can even give you of those games. So like people can't. So when you look up 4K Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom on YouTube, it's no longer dominated by Simu. It's dominated by, hey, actually, Nintendo gave an even better looking version than all these fan created texture packs and ray tracing packs. And then I think, Nintendo likes to balance things out. So there's going to be like an exclusive third party game that worked on some sort of Nintendo IP. We had Mario plus Rabbids before in year one of Switch. I don't know if Ubisoft is going to be the one this time because they're not doing too hot. There'll be a combo pack of probably both the Rabbids games, but I'm not counting that as that's just them re-releasing Switch games. But I think there's going to be something. I don't know which studio it's going to be, but I could see Star Fox coming back year one from a third-party studio. Maybe it's Bandai Namco because they got dedicated studios for Nintendo there. I don't know. I'm just throwing them out as a possibility. Obviously, Platinum Games has dabbled in Star Fox in the past as well. So maybe, just throwing that out there as some possibilities. And then the only other thing that I really see in terms of like maybe a big game year one, I just float this out there. I don't think it's year one, but it might be a new Smash Bros. And I put it out there because we found out towards the end of the YouTube series that Sakurai pre-recorded all that stuff 2 years prior. Yep. All those videos were actually from 2 years ago. And what did he say in one of the later videos? Oh, hey, yeah, we're wrapping things up because I got to go work on a new game. But he said that in a video that he recorded 2 years ago, meaning he's been working on something for at least 2 to 3 years, probably the next Smash. And remember, we got Smash Bros. Super early in the Switch's life, 2018. It was year 2. Well, year 1.8 or whatever, right? So I'm really thinking that that is actually a realistic possibility. I'm just throwing this up quick because he brings it up every week and I love it.
Oh, is it a Blitz and Jam?
Let's get that shit in year one. Let's get brand new ones in year one. Let's go. Nintendo doesn't have a say on that, but let's do it. Anyways, so that's me. And maybe you guys probably argue I'm pipe dreaming by talking about it, but like I even got to Monolith Soft, which could have something ready. Like Nintendo's teams have been churning, and if you look at the Nintendo Switch, it was Tears of the Kingdom, Pikmin 4, Mario Wonder, and then we haven't gotten anything from their A teams in a while.
It's been a long time. A lot of studios pretty quiet.
And I agree with most of that, Nate. So yeah, new 3D Mario for a holiday, I would say. If Switch 2 is launching in the summertime, then you're going to have a lot of third-party ports that they missed out on in the launch window, and then for a holiday, you'll have a lot of the new games coming out for third parties. But for first party, I would say Metroid Prime 4, either launch day or launch window in the first 3 months. And then, of course, Mario Kart 9, launch day or launch window first 3 months. And then holiday, you got the new 3D Mario game. And then to pepper in the new Star Fox game, it is rumored that it could be a return to the Star Fox Adventures formula, which I'm a fan of personally. I would love that because Star Fox needs like a reboot, and that would kind of like be something familiar yet new at the same time for people. I would love that. And the best way to reintroduce like a franchise like Star Fox, I would say, is to have it be in the first year of the console. You got a fresh start, fresh beginning for the series, and you place it next to like a 3D Mario within like 2 months, and eyes are going to be on that game, and you could have a really nice rebooting success for Star Fox. And then maybe in December, you could have Monolith Soft's new gigantic game that they've been working on. Who knows? Maybe it's Golden Sun. Maybe they're going to be bringing back Golden Sun. I know, pipe dream, but I'm just saying, like, that would be amazing, because I think a lot of people, I mean, personally, I'm a little bit burned out on all the Xenoblades. It'd be nice to have them dabble in a different RPG series like Golden Sun and reboot that. But that's just my opinion. I know some people want to have played Xenoblade for the rest of their life. That's great. But we're getting Chronicles X next month. So maybe take a break from Xenoblade a little bit and give us something new. And what a great way to do that in the first year of the Switch 2. And I do think this could be Nintendo's biggest selling console first year of all time, because Nintendo's going to go wild with stock. And Switch 1 sold about, what was it, 13 million in its first fiscal year, right?
somewhere around that.
Sounds
Yeah.
I think it was 13 to 15 somewhere in there.
Yeah. So I think Switch 2 is gonna obliterate that, which is
Yeah.
guaranteed that's gonna be their best selling console of all time in their first year. So I think that's almost like a safe bet.
Yeah, analysts have it between 19 to 24 mil. I think that's easy.
That's insane.
Yeah, we're saying that's easy, and I just said that's easy, but also no system's ever done that in the history of consoles.
Yeah, but we can see it happening because look at the momentum this thing has. You have an 8-year supported console with lots of happy fans who are ready to throw down their cash for the next console day one. They're not going to have enough. So yeah, this thing is going to be sound like the best hotcakes that you've ever seen.
And then you have
and I've seen a lot of hotcakes. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them.
Nintendo creates a lot of consistency. They show consistency with their game release pattern over the Switch gen. If they maintain that somehow, and look, guys, we haven't even got to April 2nd. When they show the games, you think the fever is bad right now? They just teased a little hardware, was a bunch of stuff we pretty much already knew. At least the hardcore did, not the general audience. The general audience now knows, and it's like, okay. When I literally still, when I go to places like Walmart and I'm in the game section and I'm just kind of walking around the Switch area glancing at stuff, I always get someone walking up to me and, hey man, did you hear about the Switch 2? Dude, that shit was back in January. You're still talking about that?
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen after April 2nd? And by the way, 2 days after that, fans get to go hands-on. It's going to move fast once we get to April 2nd. Because it's going to be
of course, unless it's released on April 3rd, like the rumor says, right?
Well, that's really fast then.
It's not happening.
That's too fast. Yeah, it's not happening until I think the closest for the release would be that 2-week window where there isn't a fan event in May. That's the closest possible, but I think June's probably more likely. But I could see the 2-week window May because the final events in Seoul, and they didn't get switched to like a year later last time. So maybe that's not a country that's day and date with other ones. So maybe they get it launched in June and everyone else gets it in May. I don't know. The Switch 2 experience, the Nintendo Switch experience, they actually ran that until 2 days after Switch launched. So that's why people are kind of like, oh, well, they could still have one after Switch 2 launches.
Yeah, but remember what Furukawa just said, though.
Yeah, I know.
He said he's waiting to see what people's response is to the direct before deciding on how much stock they're going to increase and blah, blah, blah. They haven't even announced. That's not happening. Just stop, people in the chat. Seriously.
We'll see what happens. We'll see. People are just
also
want this thing.
Also, Super Metal Dave hates Xenoblade Chronicles confirmed on this show.
No, I definitely don't.
I'm kidding.
Xenoblade Chronicles X is my favorite Wii U game, actually. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I just think overall for the series itself, it's a bit overplayed at this point. They need to dabble in something else to freshen, give Xenoblade a break, and then bring it back and make it fresh again.
Sure.
What
about you, Stash? Do you think that? Oh, and I want to reiterate as well. I'm talking the first 12 months of Switch 2, not just to the end of the holiday.
Yeah.
That full year out on the market.
Yeah, I'll reiterate. I know Dave said Mario for holidays. I think Mario's in the first 12 months, but I think it's around the Mario movie in April.
Oh, certainly possible.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I also laid out a whole shitload of big games. They could have Smash for the holidays for all I know.
Okay.
So, Stash, man, what are we thinking?
All right. So first, I just want to say this is a great question. So thank you for bringing this topic. This definitely made me think. So I wrote a couple things down. First thought I had was, well, it depends on if we're going to get Zelda in the first 12 months, right? Immediately. But then I was like, well, let me go a little deeper on this, right? Mario Kart, yes. Expect that. 3D Mario, expect that. I would expect it to come out this year because of it being the 40th anniversary. I think you got to capitalize on that and then ride it into the movie. And then you'll get more sales leading up to the movie and more sales after the movie. This is my thought on that. Metroid Prime 4. Yeah, I expect it. I expect it to either be at launch or a launch window game. So those are the heavy hitters right off the bat. But then we got to kind of think about some other things, right? And I actually pulled up my list of games I was thinking about from 2 weeks ago from the podcast. And I'm just kind of looking at everything here. And so before I get into that, what I'll also touch on is how the Switch 1 games are going to run. Because if they're improved, then that already makes, I think, the first year really exciting, right? Because all of these games you already own are now going to play better, or select games are going to play better, right? Maybe it's first party games. Third parties have the option to do it, just like we've seen on PlayStation 5. So I thought about that. I'm like, well, that would be really fun because then you already got a bunch of games that, maybe you haven't got to. Maybe they're in your backlog. And it's like, now I can go play them in a much better way, right? They look better. The frame rate's better. So that's something that I think we got to factor in. Then I thought about NSO, right? What's going to happen with NSO? Are we going to get new consoles on NSO? I would presume, they sent out that email saying to look forward to, what's to come in 2025. So I factored that in as well, because these are all things that are going to be new right when you get the console within that first 12 months. So if I'm getting Switch games that are running better, plus the games we already feel like we know, not factoring in other first party titles yet, so there's room for surprises. And sure, it would be great to see, something like Star Fox, right? Or Donkey Kong. I mean, we can go down the list of all the IPs that we would love to see. But I'm saying, like, even if we got those right there, plus the Switch 1 patches, the NSO, and then when I think about the third-party games and the amount of heavy hitters that are going to come out in those first 12 months, it's like, I mean, that would be insane first year. Like, some of the games I had on this list, Elden Ring, we all talked about that. Elden Ring Complete Edition. Night Rain, of course. Night Rain's coming out on PS4 as well. So I expect us to get Complete Edition and then Night Rain a little bit later on. Space it out a little bit. Assassin's Creed, right? Probably going to get Mirage. Flight Simulator. That's on
I feel
deck.
not to cut you off, Stash. I feel like Ubisoft is just going to start dumping games onto the
They
Switch
have
too.
to.
Like there's no tomorrow. I would not be
might not be
surprised.
tomorrow. They have to.
Yeah. I would not be surprised in that April Direct for them to be like, oh, and guess what? Every Assassin's Creed is coming to Switch too. Every one.
Well,
wouldn't shock me
Ubisoft
at this
already
point.
has been dumping for the last 20 years, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also look at it this way. Like, I don't know if you guys kind of keep tabs on some of the Assassin's Creed titles. I'm not talking about the new one coming out, but for example, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Origins, and Syndicate. Over the last 5 years, they've all been patched to run 60 FPS 4K on PS5.
Nice.
And the patches were for free. So I think about that. I'm like, that'd be great to bring over to Switch too. So I could see those games coming over. Again, they're probably going to space them out. I do think we're going to get Halo Master Chief Collection.
Heck yeah. That'd be sick.
And and you'd expect something like that in the first 12 months. Sea of Thieves, of course. There's other games that would make people happy, like Minecraft, the Minecraft crowd, Doom, the Dark Ages. We know we're getting Call of Duty.
That's for sure. Doom.
Yeah. Dark Ages
Doom.
looks really awesome.
No, Dark Ages is going to look great.
Dude, it looks so sick, dude. I'm so excited for that game. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
I can't be.
It is.
Oh. I can't wait, guys. Like that game comes out, I'll probably be doing a live stream on Switch 2 that night, and I'll be ripping demons apart. So he's sick.
Let's go.
I'd expect Resident Evil 4 remake
Yep.
to make it over. Obviously, we all know how RE4 was, GameCube exclusive for a short period of time back in the day. That was a huge deal getting those Capcom 5, even though we didn't get all of them. Some of them were canceled. Street Fighter 6, again, Street Fighter does really well on Switch. If you look at the sales of, what was it, Ultra Street Fighter 2?
Great game.
Yeah, great game. Older game. Sold gangbusters. Baldur's Gate 3, again, another great game for mouse controls as well. Diablo 4. Diablo sold really well on Switch, right? Red Dead 2.
I have Diablo 3 on PC, PS5, and Switch, and I've played Diablo 3 significantly more on the Switch. Even though it's not quite as pretty, doesn't run quite as fast, having Diablo portable is the best shit ever. Like, no joke. So
Yeah.
I will
That's a
totally
great game.
double dip on D4 if it comes to Switch 2.
That's a really good game for portable play. Red Dead 2. We already know Final Fantasy 7 Remake and Rebirth. I do think Hades 2 is going to make it to Switch 2. I think it's going to come out of early access and make its way over to Switch 2 within the first year. I do think we're going to get an update on Hollow Knight Silksong. And I know that's the game that everyone thinks you're crazy if you think it's coming out, but it's got to come out sooner or later. And coming out within the first 12 months of Switch 2 would probably be a great time. Probably going to sell really well. I think Indiana Jones will come to Switch 2. No doubt. With the DLC. DLC comes out in spring. It's probably going to launch the same time, the DLC, that it comes out on PS5. And by the time it would hit Switch 2, we might actually get a complete edition, which would be really nice because that is a hell of a game.
I thought I'm not trying to interrupt, but I thought the question was about first party games, because I think all the third party games are coming.
All of them.
But like you're gonna be here all day listening to all these games. I'm just saying, because it's basically everything.
Was it about first party only?
I'm supposed to be the villain.
Yeah. Game Bird was asking about first party games, I believe.
Yeah, if it's about first party only, I
just meant it. I was a little bit vague about it. It was kind of a general question.
It's all good though. I agree with you.
Do we think software-wise, Switch 2 is going to have the best first 12 months out of any Nintendo console?
I mean,
or any console for that matter.
What
Yeah,
Dave was
to be
trying to
honest
say
with
is, Steve, shut the fuck up.
I did not say that.
No, I know.
He wrote it though on
It's
his
fine.
notepad.
Yeah.
It's fine. No, I understand. But overall, because like I said, I thought you were talking about all software,
That's messed up.
and that's what you said, right? All software.
Wait, what was said, or Stash's list? What's messed
He
up?
was talking about first party games. Like he's comparing it to the first year of the Switch. How many first party heavy hitters they had? It wasn't anything really about third party.
Oh, I thought the question was if you thought the first year of Switch 2 could be the best year software.
Yeah, and then he talked about first party games, like which first party games. Anyway, yeah. It's fine.
They both count.
At any
All right,
rate,
break it up, guys. Break it up.
I will say this.
Podcast. Okay.
I'll say this.
The reason why I said is because that's another topic. I think third party games, because we could talk about that all day.
YouTuber boxing match.
Yeah.
Let's get this set up.
I'll just say this to end this, that I think the first year, given everything that I just mentioned, would be an insane year, even without a new Zelda.
I agree.
Yeah. And I do think we get Zelda in 2026
Okay.
because it's the 40th anniversary. You got to make that happen.
Ocarina of Time, baby.
That's what I would like.
Ocarina of Time.
And to Super Mario Dave's point, We'll make a third-party topic for next week or something.
Yeah, because I still got more on the list, so
No,
I'll just carry it over.
You were just at like the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's more. Trust me. And like a lot of us think pretty much everything's coming. So there's a huge
Right.
list of games to go over.
Right.
Okay,
I
Eric.
think the most impressive part, real quick, is your ability to make the list that fast. The topic we didn't discuss this topic at all. It was a dealer's choice random topic, and you nailed that.
Do you
shit.
understand? This is the man who has like 57 or 58
Legendary.
games in a video not that long ago about all the games he's anticipating this year.
True.
You could just start listing all those as coming to Switch.
Yeah.
So he's already
I know.
for list for
I
list.
I need some list tips because I always go blank when I make a list. I'm like, on the show that I was on when we had to do our like top 10 Switch games, I think it was. I was like panicking. I was like, what came out on Switch again? So, but anyways, Eric,
Yeah.
thoughts?
God, I hope it is, but part of me's saying it's not going to be. I don't know why, but it's just god dang, how many freaking big games came out when the Switch came out? I for first party anyways. I mean third
The
party
year one.
everybody
yeah.
coming back in with third party. Oh shit, that could be huge. But first party, I don't know how you can match up with 2017.
Look, he's worried we won't get another ARMS, guys.
Yeah.
That's what he's
Damn
worrying
straight.
about.
Damn,
Shit.
that theme song though was so good. If you
Yes,
guys remember. It was
Well,
so
I
good.
actually like ARMS. I'm not making fun of it. I'm just like, it's like I kept trying to think like if you think about that first year, like all the big hitters they had, there was a lot of games, but only like 4 of them were big hitters. It was just a lot of games. You had ARMS, you had
Yeah.
Fire Emblem Warriors, you had Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, but like those aren't considered like the big hitters. You know, like the big hitters were Zelda, Mario, a port of Mario Kart. That was just a port. Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You know, Splatoon 2. Like those were like the big ones. Everything else is kind of smaller. So I'm like, man, they're gonna have at least 4 big hitters. They might have more than that. That's my opinion. But Eric, it's fine. We need a dissenter.
Yeah, I don't know
Take
what
the villain role, Eric.
part of me is just feeling that it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be very, very hard to match up first party wise. So
Well, you're entitled to your opinion.
What about sales,
However,
though?
you're completely wrong.
you might be right. I gotta say, I'm on the side of I think this is going to be the best 12 months for a first year on the market for a Nintendo console, and here's why. Zelda's my favorite series of all time, and it's not even close. Nothing comes close. And Breath of the Wild, my
new
hype
co-host?
factor.
Is another Zelda guy. I did this wrong. Shit. I'm just kidding, man.
Nothing comes close to it, but I do have to factor in that it was also a Wii U game, first and foremost. If I couldn't get my hands on a Switch at launch, rest assured, I'm a happy camper because I'm playing Breath of the Wild day one on my Wii U. That being said, we already know we're getting a brand new Mario Kart. We're likely getting that brand new big open world, maybe open world, but mainline 3D Mario. Like Nate said earlier, that team is one of the best in the industry. So I can't wait to see what they've cooked up. Those two right there. Now, Prime 4 is interesting because we know Prime 4 is a Switch game. But here's the difference. Here's kind of why I separate this from Zelda. Prime's not a big seller. It's awesome for us big, like hardcore Nintendo fans and Metroid fans. But I feel like the jump from Switch to Switch 2 visually is going to have a much bigger impact than the jump from Wii U to Switch. And that leaves Metroid Prime 4 the opportunity to kind of have that next-gen Nintendo wow factor. Not to say that Breath of the Wild wasn't gorgeous, because it is a beautiful game. I love the art style, the cell shading, just the whole style with the thick blades of grass moving in the wind and the fog rolling in. Gorgeous game, but I think there's going to be a wow factor speculating that Prime 4 is coming to Switch 2, or that there will be a Switch 2 version of the title that really pushes the hardware. That being said, I expect other titles that have been dormant, like I mentioned earlier, some of these studios that have been radio silent, they've been working on some big stuff for Switch 2. We've got the Fire Emblem series. What's going on with Fire Emblem? Fire Emblem has grown so much in popularity, especially with Three Houses, the best Fire Emblem in my opinion. Love to see what they do with that series. Star Fox has been mentioned both by Super Metal Dave and I think Stash, and maybe Nate, you mentioned it as well. I feel like Switch 2, some of these studios are going to be like, how can we reinvent the wheel a little bit with some of these dormant series? I think Star Fox fits into that category where, like Dave said earlier, maybe it revisits that kind of Star Fox adventure vibe, or takes on more of a Ratchet and Clank type feel and game design. Strongest focus on ship combat and space exploration, but also sprinkles in that land kind of adventure feel. And then Splatoon. What's cooking with Splatoon? They have a pretty quick turnover. I imagine after Splatoon 3, they're like, okay, we've kind of iterated on the last two games. Now it's time to kind of branch off and go a little bit bigger and better. I think we're going to start to see bigger and better with a lot of these IPs, not just because we have new hardware that's more capable, more powerful, but also because they've seen the success of doing that with some of their other series, Zelda being the big one, where they kind of reinvent the series to great success. Those things aside, I don't want to anger Super Metal Dave any further, but I do think third party. just kidding. I do think third party is going to be super strong this first year compared to past Nintendo.
No, can't mention that third party stuff.
Fine.
All right.
Leaving out third party, I'm going to say we had to wait. Stash, you mentioned NSO. We had to wait, and then it was kind of a trickle in. Well, NSO is already established. Maybe we get GameCube, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn, who knows, DS, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think year one Switch 2 is going to freaking punch you in the face. And, we'll see. Time will tell. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Nate and Eric will sit on the throne of victory and Switch 2 won't, soar on the wings of Nintendo godhood. But I don't know. I think we're in for a treat.
What if we still get a Zelda in the first 12 months, but it's the Breath of the Wild upgraded?
I mean, that kicks ass.
Yeah. Like that is a way to still get a Zelda in the first 12 months. Granted, it's not new, but it plays new.
Or they do bundle Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2.
I mean, Tears
Master Collection.
That'd be cool to play Tears, upgrade it, but
yeah.
Have they ever done that before? Bundle two Zelda games together? Besides, was it Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask?
Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask. Yeah, that was the last time.
I just don't see them doing that because they like getting their individual sales on games. But hey, you never know.
I agree. I don't think we get a double pack. I think those days are over. But if we did, I mean, great for us, right? Sure. I would love to see it.
I think if they do it, they might charge $70. But hey, you're getting two.
$35 each.
It's not bad. That's if they do it.